Sir, yesterday you said that you were not sure who ordered the munitions halted to Ukraine. Have you since been able to figure that out?
Well, I haven't thought about it because we're looking at Ukraine right now and munitions, but I have not gone into it.
What does it say that such a big decision could be made inside your government?
I would know. If a decision was made, I will know. I'll be the first to know. In fact, most likely I'd give the order, but I haven't done that yet.
That was President Trump yesterday when pressed about the pause of a recent U.S. weapons shipment to Ukraine. Joining us now, Pentagon reporter for Politico, Paul McCleary. Paul, you've been reporting on this extensively. What's your understanding of what happened here? Because as much as the president is saying, I would have given the order, I would have been the first to know, it kind of sounds like he wasn't.
Yeah, it's not clear. I mean, it seemed what happens is he ordered a review of the Pentagon's munition stockpiles after the NATO summit late last month. And what seems to have happened is the Pentagon really took that and ran with it and kind of forged its own policy here as far as cutting off lethal aid for Ukraine and air defenses.
Yeah.
And this is the third time that Pete Hegseth and Bridge Colby, the Pentagon policy chief, have done this in the Trump administration, cut off aid for Ukraine. And each time the White House has had to turn that aid back on, as we just saw this week. The decision was made to stop it last week, took everyone by surprise. The Hill wasn't informed. The State Department wasn't informed. The White House, it didn't seem to reach the level of the president. And then the president, just live on television this week, decided to turn that spigot back on of the weapons.
You said two names at the Pentagon, one of which our audience has heard a lot, Pete Hegseth, the other, Bridge Colby, that maybe many of them haven't heard from before. Why is he important here? He's
the head of policy at the Pentagon, and he has had much more experience at the Pentagon and government and in Washington than Pete Hegseth or anyone on his staff. They're all pretty new to Washington and the Pentagon. They've never run an organization like this. Mm-hmm. Colby's been around. He's done this. He knows how the building works. He knows how the town works. So he, as someone said to me, he knows how to push paper. He can do things. He can get things done because he understands the system in a way that Hegseth and people, his top advisors, really don't.
And I think it comes, interestingly, against the backdrop of Senator Thom Tillis, newly unshackled from future re-elections because he said he's not running again, saying on another network that Hegseth is, in Tillis's words, out of his depth running an organization of this size, which was the very concern that senators had when they didn't vote to confirm him. Tillis, of course, came around ultimately. But is that the kind of buyer's remorse that you're hearing from Republicans?
There's a lot of frustration on Capitol Hill, right, among Democrats for sure, and increasingly among Republicans who are not getting briefed by the Pentagon. Normally, there's a pretty steady drumbeat of Pentagon officials, uniformed and civilians, going up to Capitol Hill, briefing senators. That's not really happening under this administration. So they bill themselves as the most transparent Pentagon in history, but they're not talking to the press. And they're also not briefing the Hill. And we're 6 months in, and that's really having an effect. And senators are really starting to push back against that.
Yeah, and we know that Bridge Colby, for example, is the person that our guest yesterday, Congressman Eugene Vindman, has been asking for a classified briefing about this weapons pause. Today was the deadline. We'll see if they actually respond and if lawmakers get that briefing. But Paul McCleary, we thank you for coming on, explaining it to us. We'll, of course, be reading your latest piece, which is available online now. It's great reporting.